My name is PJ Kerfoot. I'm a librarian at the Thomas Fisher Rare Book Library, and I'm here to speak about the exhibition Great and Manifold and Celebration of the Bible in English. The King James really distinguishes itself because of the sonority of its words. It was meant to be read aloud, and as a result of that, there is a rhythm to it, there's a cadence to it, there's a melody to it. And that was the intention of the translators. When they worked on the King James, they not only worked alone doing their individual translations, but after they finished doing their translations, they would bring what they had worked on to the committee, sometimes 4, sometimes 6, sometimes more people, and they would read their translation aloud to one another. And as they went along, other members of the committee would say, maybe you could have a better word here, or maybe you could reverse the order of the word here. Always with a view to having the words of the Bible take on a sonorous nature. So it wasn't intended entirely that this book was to be read in silence by oneself. It was meant to be read aloud, and that indeed is the way that we have come to know it. And that's the reason, I think, why the King James, more than others, has had the deep effect that it's had on English culture. When you think of the phrases that come out of the King James that we still use in our daily conversations without even realizing we're using them, it's just that it's summarized beautifully and with rhythm, what the word was saying, but also what people were feeling. The other thing, I think the reason why the King James becomes important, at least in the Protestant world becomes important, is although the various Protestant churches are fractious and break off from one another in the 17th and 18th centuries, you have the Church of England, but then you have eventually you have the separatist churches, the Presbyterian churches, the Baptists, the Quakers, the Methodists eventually in the 18th century. And although they no longer would agree with one another in terms of church politics, in terms of church structure, or even in terms of dogma, the one thing that did unite all of them was this one Bible, the King James Bible. And so it provided a certain unity to the culture that otherwise would not have been there at all. So for those two reasons, the King James deserves recognition for the importance of what it did to maintaining stability within society.